celebrate season 5. It is April 11th, 4/11. So Bob, our gifts guy, decided, all right, well let's do a 41% discount on everything in the store except gift cards. So if you go to thechosengifts.com right now, www.thechosengifts.com, if you go to thechosengifts.com right now, everything in the store is 41% off all day, like up until midnight. So this is a little bit crazy. I think I don't know what he was thinking. I wasn't even going to give a discount that big, so you can thank him for it. 41% off everything in the store all the way until midnight. That includes pre-ordering the DVDs for season 4. Now, speaking of season 4.
And that's what we missed, ladies and gentlemen. Could have got half off the season. And I'm truly sad about that. I believe it's $29.99, and you don't know when they're coming, but they're coming. And that's what he's going to talk about next. And am I sad that I don't know when they're coming? No. Am I antsy about it? Yeah, I'll want to watch it just like everybody else. Is it in the movie theater? Yeah, but I want to watch all of it. And I want to watch it from the comfort of my home. I want to own it. I'm going to pay for it. I don't mind. I wouldn't mind lending it to relatives or paying for them to watch a couple of episodes and see how they like it. I really am behind. Obviously, you can see I do a lot of content on The Chosen, and I do that because I like The Chosen. This whole channel is about God, family, and country. We cover God a lot, and that's because God comes first, and it's really important. It's what helps me be a better family member and a better countryman, an American. The reason why this is so important to me is that it has been so instrumental adding just a layer of understanding. What you'll see about me, and if I'm your cup of tea, that's great. If not, that's all right. What you'll notice about me is when I wanted to do this channel is I wanted to be a Christian, and I wanted to talk besides just the Christianeeze. Like, yes, let's enjoy verses together. Let's enjoy Christian content. And let's also, like, person who, like, no matter what, it's a God moment. Meaning, like, yeah, so I had a taco. Speaking of this taco, it reminds me when Jesus, where they're not really a real person anymore. How long do you hold up this facade? And there's nothing wrong with being a super Christian. I'm all about being a super Christian. To me just means that you're fully bought in and you're living the life of Christ. I also am in business and have to have conversations that are not Christ-centered. But how I bring Christ everywhere with me is that I try to have a loving attitude, and I try to love God with all my heart, and I try to do good business. That's how I bring God into a moment without saying God in areas where it may not be appropriate to just say God's name when I'm doing a business deal for just no reason at all. I know that sounds kind of weird to say. Even as I say it, it's hard to say because I'm just like you. Anytime's a good time for God, right? He created this all. So as we're talking, we're using the breath in our lungs that comes directly from God. And I'm here with you on that. What I'm trying to explain is for this channel, I wanted to just be able to talk about whatever we're going to talk about. If that's philosophical, if that's scientific, I don't think none of those things are bad. If I don't have a Bible verse attached to everything, or if I talk about, recently on my channel, I talked about some crime that's going on. And to me, I thought it was important because I was like, well, this is really crazy what's going on. It looked like in Texas, there was a hit at a gas station. There was bullets flying. They were shooting at this car from this Dominican Republican's son was shot. And he was a political official, and his son was a rapper, but I don't think that there was, I don't know what was happening, but it looked like there was a hit. And I was just talking about, if this was a hit, that means that this was an international hit, that somebody came on U.S. soil, possibly, and ordered the hit. And with our border in demise, looking like a third world country, well, actually, isn't Korea third world and they have a better border than us? Looking like a fourth world, if that's even a thing, just looking like an open border, and us having situations like this, just being really concerning and kind of raising awareness on the possible issues that we could have in the future. And I just want to be able to give that perspective. I want to have a conversation with you as a Christian, and whatever that conversation is, tough conversations, funny conversations, going on tangents, going down rabbit holes. Some things that you should know about me is I'm very philosophical, and I don't think that that's a problem. I've always wondered about the universe, God, science, and it's never drawn me to the conclusion that God's not real or I don't believe in God. It's just me studying. If God is real, whatever I'm studying is just about things that God has created. Anybody who says otherwise is just ridiculous. And we had those problems in the old church where, scientists were considered horrible by the Catholic Church, and they had a fear. They had a fear of loss. I really believe there was some pride and there was some lack of faith, because to me, I don't care what you go out and try to determine in the world. Like I said, as a Christian, you don't have to be this vanilla, dull, whatever. You are allowed to be you, original, as long as it, aligns with the Word of God. I think that I had already talked about this, but I'll bring it up again because you know me, I love to repeat myself. There was a time where Kat Von D had brought up how judgmental we are in the church, and I was thinking about a time where people didn't like people with long hair in the church, and Jesus literally had long hair. Things like that. I definitely want to encourage your uniqueness that God has given you, of course, within the will of God, just being you and being who you are. And as I learn to get more comfortable with talking to myself, because I'm talking to somebody, but in the future, and I am not used to talking to myself, at least out loud. People in the corner make that look so easy, but not trying to make fun of those people, but I am trying to make a joke because they're in my area, which we're planning on making a move, and hopefully it'll be a little bit better. But in my direct area, seeing somebody talk to themselves on a corner is not abnormal. In my area, the housing, speaking of Compton, like we did earlier, the houses in Compton are $500,000, some $1 million. Now there's some good parts, but there's some areas where it's just super sketch. Like, I don't think you'd move in, but you probably couldn't afford the mortgage on it either. Pretty interesting on what's going on in the world today. And that's something, like I said as well, that I'd love to talk to you about in the future. Is I want to talk about single family homes, coming from real estate, mortgage, business. There's a lot of things that I want to talk about on my channel. I wanted to do that because I wanted to say, hey, we can be normal Christian folk and also do all of these things. We can explore all of these things. We can enjoy all of these things that God has put here for us in life according to God's will and the way that he has it set up for us. So let's listen on. Thank you for listening to my tangent. Let's get back to The Chosen. Let's